This presentation is called A Physical Story That Shapes Spiritual Growth. First, I'm going to describe what we do, who I am, how we do it, what exactly the process that I walk out with some of my friends, and last, a story about a lady named Donna Michelle that I hope will touch people's hearts today. So on the next slide, what I do is I go out into my neighborhood in Santa Ana, California, and I paint portraits of my neighbors experiencing homelessness. Each portrait, I believe, is an image of worship. I put my heart and soul into it. It's where I actually feel most connected to Jesus. So as I'm sitting in front of a canvas looking at somebody that's been homeless for 10 years plus, has all kind of trials and tribulations hit their life on a daily basis, I'm praying for them and I'm saying, Lord, show me how you see them. Show me them beyond the homelessness. Give me color for them. What color are they in your sight? Give me heaven's perspective on my neighbors that often get ignored. So on the next slide, as you can imagine, amazing things happen when we reveal these paintings. I've had people cry. I've had people scream and jump up and down like a 2-year-old. I've had others just stare at the painting introspectively as the Lord speaks to them. But in every situation, the Lord's present. I can't tell you how many times people see me revealing a painting on the streets, and crowds gather, and people want to know what it's about. Many people have told me, you've helped me see homelessness different. I used to see homelessness this way, but because you paint them with color, light, dignity, hope, favor, love, because of all those things, I see homelessness different now. And so that's the goal of my organization, is to obviously help my friends experience homelessness. That's of course, that's a noble thing. But what if we can help other people see differently? What if we can help other people understand that if you step into relationship with those that are not like you, willing to embark on a journey of suffering, there's spiritual growth that's available for you as well as you helping other people. So if you go to the next slide, really basically, and this is going to matter to the end of the story, I promise, how we work is first we dream it. We empower artists to go into their communities and meet with their vulnerable populations. Next, we paint them. After befriending the subjects, artists complete the fine art pieces that tell the stories of the people without a voice. Then what we do is we sell the artwork. So we put the artwork up for sale, and we tell interested buyers, if you buy this painting, 50% of the proceeds actually support the person in the piece. And then finally after that, we celebrate it, and we're able to use that money to help the people pursue dreams, wishes, desires on their heart, whatever it may be. I'll show you a little bit about what that looks like in a second. On the next slide, this is probably 5% of the bicycles I've bought. I think I've bought like 150 bicycles in the time that I've been painting the homeless since 2015. It's probably the most common item. So what happens is we sell the painting. Now we raise money for this person. We'll tell them, hey, you have $1,500 in what we call a love account. How can we help you with the money? And 9 times out of 10, they said they want a new bike. And so I'm well known at the bike store in Santa Ana. The next way we do this on the next slide is after a bike, usually it's, hey, can I spend a week in a hotel? And so if you notice, it's usually the same hotel. They know me there as well. But we'll put them up in a hotel, and they'll have just some moments of grace, some time off the streets, time away from the elements. I'll never forget a story. I put a man in a hotel. He probably hadn't been in a hotel in 10 years. And he called me from the hotel room. He said, come visit me. So I said, sure. And I walk to the hotel, knock on the door, and he opens the door only in his underwear and his tighty-whities. And I'm like, James, what are you doing, man? He goes, no, you don't understand. He goes, for 10 years, I haven't been able to go home and just undress and sit on the couch. It's like, I always have to have clothes on. And I'm like, man, I guess that is true. Like, I've never thought of that. So I said, okay, sit on the couch and let's talk, right? And so I got to embark on this journey with James in his underwear. But you never know what you're going to experience when you just follow God and step into these situations. And it gives you a testimony. It gives you a story to share with other people. On the next slide, we've also used the money from selling paintings to buy vehicles. So a couple of our clients actually ended up buying vehicles with the money, and some of the clients actually lived in the vehicle, so they didn't have a home, but they're like, hey, if you buy us a van, at least we have shelter. So that's another way. So you can see the trend here that we're able to raise money to actually help people experiencing homelessness, which 99% of the time lack money. And you'll see how this ends in the end of the presentation. On the next slide, so now we're going to get into our story. Now that you know what I do, a couple months back, I'm sitting in front of my loft apartment in downtown Santa Ana with my friend Torrey, and we're just hanging out, and this lady walks by, like covered in a blanket. And so if you know my heart, immediately I'm like, hey, like come join us, come sit with us. And she was very timid, very hard to talk to. She wouldn't say much to us, but she sat down, and the only question that she would answer from me is, what's your name? So I said, hey ma'am, like what's your name? And she said, Donna Michelle. And that was it. And I said, where are you from? Nothing. What do you like to do? Nothing. What are you doing tonight? Nothing, right? Nothing. She wouldn't say anything to me other than, my name is Donna Michelle, and that's one of the last words she ever spoke. So I'm sitting here, in my heart, I'm like, Lord, you brought me someone amazing. I'm going to paint a new painting of her, and people are going to see it, and we're going to sell it and help her. And it looked completely different than that. I don't think she wouldn't respond to me in addition to her name, so there's no way I would ever ask her to paint a portrait of her. Like that just wouldn't make sense for me if she would never tell me her story. So we hang out with her for a couple hours with her sitting there in complete silence. And if you go to the next slide, Donna, maybe she was looking for a place to make her home, but she began to just camp out in front of my house. And I typically don't have a problem with people coming to my place. My neighbors knew me as the guy who would always have our neighbors experiencing homelessness knocking on the door, so it wasn't a huge issue for me. But she sort of camped out with her blanket in front of our house, and she would end up screaming all night, and so me and my wife couldn't sleep. There was a moment where we came home from, I think, like grocery shopping or something, and Donna was standing in front of our door changing, so she was like exposing herself to the community. That seems to be a running theme in my ministry, but we didn't know what to do. And it got even worse because if you go to the next slide, Donna began to leave stuff in front of our house. And then after a couple days of her being there and her screaming all night, I realized why she was screaming is because she would light matches, wait till the match lit on fire, then she would burn a tree branch and put it on top of her head, so the whole top of her head was burned. Yeah. And so where's my demon guy? Because this is, we need to call him to meet Donna. But it was really bad. Like, she was so oppressed. She would put the stuff on her head and she'd start screaming, and then she'd light another twig on fire and put it into her clothes and start screaming and jumping around. And then she made attempts to light our apartment bushes on fire. So no matter what I did, I went out there and tried to pray with her, talk to her, everything. There was nothing I can do to get through to Donna, so we had to call the cops. I think you saw an image of a police car I just put on there. And so the cops came, and the cops are like, oh yeah, we know her. And I'm like, well, can you help? And they say, no, there's really nothing we can do. We can ask her to move. So they asked her to move, and then Donna would come back. And there was moments where Donna used the restroom in front of our house. She wouldn't come in to use the restroom, so she just used the sidewalk. And we didn't know what to do. It's like me, Brian Peterson of Faces of Santa Ana, I know hundreds of homeless people, had no idea how to handle this situation. It was like God was pulling me into a place of a new level of suffering, right? Like I felt like my feathers were getting plucked out, and I was in this season of, what do I do, God? Like, this makes no sense. So if you go to the next slide, then things got even weirder, right? So a couple times the cops had to ask her to leave. Sometimes they'd show up at 2, 3 in the morning because she was screaming and waking up all the neighbors. And one day she left. She was at our house and she left. And when she left some stuff outside. So I went outside, and I noticed in the concrete there was like a $5 bill. I think there might have been so it might have been $6. And it was folded up and put into the concrete. And I'm like, okay, this is strange. Because never in my experience and ministering to the homeless, do they ever leave me money, right? It's usually the opposite. They need help. So I'm like, okay, Donna's leaving me money here. And I remember calling my brother and my family, and I'm like, this just feels like God is trying to teach me something. It doesn't feel like there's a random lady coming to my house and just messing with my head. It feels like there's something I have to learn here. And if you saw my talk yesterday, everything that happens in the physical world, I take it like, I take it as a moment to learn spiritually. So I'm trying to figure out what is God doing. And then it gets even crazier, right? So you might not believe this, and I figured most people wouldn't. So I took pictures of it just to prove that it happened, okay? So Donna comes back. I say, Donna, you left $6 here, like take it. And she looked at me and turned away and walked away. And later on that night, she ended up back at our house. And I wake up the next morning, and I'm like, oh, Donna left more stuff at our place, right? So I'm picking up some of the stuff she left. And there's this, it was actually a marshmallow bag. And so I pick up the marshmallow bag, and inside of it is a $100 bill. I think there was a 20, some 5s, and a 1. So Donna left me like $130 in front of my house again. Yeah. And so here's where my head is at this point. For 7 years, I've been able to raise money to help my friends experiencing homelessness. Probably hundreds of thousands of dollars we were able to raise by selling paintings and fundraising and all these things. We're able to do incredible things with all the money that we've raised to help them, to aid in a little bit of their rejuvenation and just showing them how God sees them. But here I am, standing up against a woman where money has no effect on her life. So my ministry doesn't work for her, right? She doesn't say yes to the painting. If she did say yes to the painting, she's so far gone in whatever mental stronghold she's dealing with that money has no effect on her life. And so I'm here feeling powerless. Here I was so excited to paint this lady who randomly showed up, but the way my ministry is sort of constructed today, it doesn't work for her. And so naturally I start praying, like, God, what is this about? I'll tell you today, the story is very much in process. It's not over. I don't think the Lord has fully revealed to me exactly the steps I need to take. But what I do know is that the Lord is beckoning me deeper. And I had this book that I made, and I put all the paintings in the book. And I have a couple here, so if there's any birthdays at the end or people birthdays this week, I'll give you a little free book here. But I'm flipping through this book one day, just praying, asking God, remembering all the stories of my friends that I've painted. And I get to the end of the book, and I feel the Lord speaking to my heart. And he starts asking me questions, like, how many have a job? And I'm like, well, 2 of these people have jobs, so they're doing good. How many are housed? I'm thinking to myself, okay, there's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 people have housing now, their lives are better. And then conviction hit me, and the Lord asked me, how many are free? And it's 0, right? Even the ones that have jobs still have strongholds. How many are free? And so the ministry of Jesus is all about freedom, right? Setting the captives free. That's why he came. And so although I love what the Lord has begun in my life, I love that I get to speak to all of you, but if I'm completely honest, Brian Peterson stands before you today here in the Spirit, praying and contending to God that my ministry becomes about freedom first. What's the point of having a job if you're still under mental strongholds, right? What's the point of having an apartment if you can't forgive the people that have hurt you, right? And so Donna helped me realize that, but I hope and pray, if I get invited back one day, that I can come to you with a new message of, hey, we're running after freedom for the captives. No longer will we leave people bound. No longer will we leave people ensnared. And I personally needed the Lord to send me Donna to make me feel powerless because his strength is in our weakness in order for me to see that to the end. And so ringing in my ears as I think about where to move forward with my life is, are they free? Are they free? Are they free? And so that is my story about how physical things that happen to me in the world shape my spiritual growth. So God bless you all.
Discover who you're called to be at Biola University, a leading Christ-centered university in Los Angeles, with programs on campus and online. Subscribe for more of our videos and learn more at biola.edu.